Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to start a new series on how to create domain-specific languages. Commonly, this is also referred to as fluent interfaces. In this episode, we're going to take a look at how to create a simple DSL which uses the method chaining technique. We'll use this example as a basis for all future episodes, where we explore other ways to create DSLs. A method chaining is a way to create a DSL through a sequence of modifier calls on the host, where each call returns the host object for further modifications. Basically, it's a way to chain methods one after another to achieve a goal. If you ever use the system.datetime object, you've seen method chaining at that right there. So what we're going to do today is we actually want to create a very simple DSL. This is a DSL that will actually take an image and modify it by a given percent and then save it. It's a very simple example which should meet the needs of this timecast. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already created my test class called Sizer Test, and then I have a class here called Sizer. Sizer will be my host for my DSL. So before we get started actually writing code and figuring out what our DSL should do, or how it should be implemented, let's figure out what it is we want the thing to actually do. So let me go ahead and create an instance of my Sizer. Now I'd mentioned that I want this thing to take in an image, so I want to do Sizer. Now do from image, and we'll give this an original image name, a variable. We'll fill out that variable later. And then we're going to probably want to create a destination, so we'll call this toImage. We'll create something called the destination image location. And we probably want to reduce this by size. And we'll give this 50. And then, because we actually want to not only reduce it, but we also want to save the image type, we'll call this, output image type, or format. And then we're going to want to save it. We added the save as our terminator. This is what will actually execute all of the logic within our DSL. Let's pop this down the next line. We'll save that as a JPEG. So now we actually understand what it is we want our DSL to actually do. Now it's time to see how we go about implementing it. Let's bounce over to our Sizer class, and the first thing I want to do is create my from image logic. Now you'll notice that what I did is I created a public class, gave it my name from image, and I have a returning Sizer. Because we're using method chain, I actually want to return back the host every time in order to keep chaining on methods. So I'll do return this. And then we're going to probably want to create a property holder or some kind of temporary holder for our from image. We'll create this as from image. Oops, can't do that. Call this original image. Let's come back here. Let's rename this to original image too, so we have some continuity here. The next thing we're going to want to do is build out our toImage, or toLocation. And we're going to go ahead and create another property here to store all these variables as well. We'll set this up to return this again. Now what I call some of these other ones. Reduced by percentage and output image format. Again, we're going to want to create property here. And as you can see, I'm just filling out the contract here real quick. So it looks like I named these two different things, so let's go to location here. And last two we need to do image format. And last but not least, we actually need our terminator, which is going to be save. Now you'll notice all of these, except for our terminator, will actually return our sizer object. So this will actually return all of our hosts. That is what's going to allow us to chain these things one after another after another. Now, this is a very simple DSL, and I'm not going to go ahead and implement the save. What I would probably do here is implement all the logic to actually perform all the actual actions. You know, for my DSL, I actually want my actions to queue up until the terminator is called, instead of take place on every individual method call. But that's a choice that I made. It's entirely possible that you want to, on your reduce by a %, have it actually take the original image, create a second image, and reduce that one by the given %. And then if you want to add a crop feature in the future, all that good stuff, you can just, each time it gets called, it will do something. Actually, I want to save it to the very end. It's just a personal choice. As you can see, now that I've created my DSL, it reads very simplistically. That's why I say host, which is my sizer. So from image, I give it image name to location, which is an output location, reduced by a % with a output format, then finally save. Now, why would I want to create this as a DSL versus just standard way of doing it? Is personally, I think that the DSL reads a little bit cleaner and actually will allow me to actually extend the interface in the future and allow me to change the way I interact with the host, because I can maybe add different things such as crop or rotate and all that fun stuff, and I can leave it up to the implementer of this DSL to figure out how they actually want to utilize it. If I wasn't using this as a DSL, what I'd have to do is do what's been referred to as push button programming. So I'd do from image, and I would give it my original image. Then I'd do sizer to location. And although I'd get the same results, if I did it this way, yes, it's more cumbersome to read and review. So that does it for our how to create a DSL using the method chaining. In the future episodes, we'll take a look at different ways to utilize DSLs and different techniques to create them. So until next time, and I hope you learned something.